the first thing I'm going to do is, if you have already opened a new file, first I'm going to do is like just dragging my image into Photoshop. So this is the one that I'm going to use today for this collage making. And this is also, you can see, just a side profile with a simple background. Nothing extraordinary, like you all can take a picture of yourself, something like that. So the next step would be where this is a simple background, but sometimes you might not have a like plain background, or you might want to like remove the background to change the color. So I can also show you how you can do that. I am not sure what Photoshop you are using, and the link that Valanda has sent, I am not sure if it is having all the features. But in Photoshop, if you go in this quick selection tool, the first option you get is the object selection tool. So if you click on here, make sure you are in the rectangle mode, and the object subtract is added. So if I now click on my picture, I get this select subject option. And what Photoshop does is it's automatically select the picture for you. So that is, I think, a wonderful tool for this kind of collage making thing. Now I can see that, like a little bit of my hairs is cutting off from here. So what we can do is I can go to a quick selection tool, and I'm just zooming in. And this plus sign is on, which means I am adding to my selection. So right now, if I click those are also adding to my selection. So if I need, a little bit of more of my hair so that it doesn't look odd, maybe I want to select this whole thing. It's not that bad. And the best thing about a collage making is you don't have to be very exact. We are not making a realistic photo here. So even though there is something is not very crispy, that is also fine for a collage. So I'm just selecting those, and yeah, I'm deselecting these areas which I do not need. So I think this is pretty good. Oh, I can maybe just delete a little bit here. So I think this is pretty good. Now if I do select and mask, so now you can see that what you have selected and your background is on a different color. You can also change the color. This is just for your own visualization. So it's not necessary what color you use here. But the good thing is, if you click on this tool, you can just smooth out this, like this little bit of weird edges of your hair. So here is the most important thing, which takes a lot of time to select. So you can do a little bit of this. If you want to keep them, then just use this one, just for a better selection part. And here you can see your edges, the edges that I have just selected. Now we can also smooth this, do a little bit of feather so that it doesn't look like just a piece of cutout, but a little bit smoother. And in this output section, if we do a new layer, then we'll get this whole picture without its background in a new layer. So that is how you can get your picture if you have, like, if you want to remove your background, if you don't have a plain background. So that's how you can do it. Are you all good with that? Anyone have any questions, or I should carry on? I don't think anyone have any questions. So yeah, let me know if you want to do it yourself and need some time, then I can stop and give you some time if you want to try it yourself. Or we can give you time at the end of the workshop where you can try yourself. So the next process is now I want to add another picture, which I have here. You can use whatever you want. You can use something from the library or something on your own. So I am going to use this picture today. Again, I am dragging this here, and I'll do the same thing. I don't want this background. So if I don't want this background, I'll do the same thing with this. I'll just go to the quick selection tool. I'll go to the object selection tool. Object subtract is here, select subject, and the Photoshop will select this for me. And I think this is pretty good. So I can just select and mask. Yeah, it looks good. I think that's fine. I do not need much work with that. Again, I'll output it to a new layer. So I'll get this on a new layer. So that's what I want to work on now. And here is the layer blending opportunity where we can multiply it so that it looks a little bit of, like overlapping kind of effect. So here I am also using the same kind of concept where I want to show maybe a inner self and a city that is growing on top of my head, on top of my hat. So that is the same kind of concept I'm using while making this collage. So you might have a different kind of concept, and based on that, you can choose what kind of picture you want to show and exactly where do you want to place it. So I want to place it here, which looks like, like there is an inner self in me. And then there is this city growing out of my head. Maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, that's it. Now I don't want this part, so I'm going to the eraser tool. Just going to select this and erase this part. And I also don't want this part, so I can also do a erase this little part which is going beyond my head. And I am thinking about making this in a different color. So what I just did is I just double click on that layer and I'm turning on color overlay. So I already have this color. You can do whatever color you want. So I'm using this color for today, and let's see how it works out. And then I'm thinking to add some of the graphic elements that I have already provided you in the library. Yes, so this is a folder. You all have some access. I'm using this one today. Dragging this. Maybe something like this. And going to make it. I have changed the layer so it can go, like behind that the city skyline layer kind of thing. And because because we are making collage, we don't have to worry about too much about all the sides and his sharpness and everything. We can just use different elements to hide them or blend them. So right now I'm thinking to use this element, and I want this on top of this. So I'll have it here. So it will give you kind of a sky feeling because we are also using the moon. So maybe that's the city skyline and there is this sky and the moon, and I can duplicate this layer now. So yeah, so that's how it can hide all the, like all the things that we have not taken care, all the edges that was there, so we can hide all of them. So that is how it is looking right now. And I want to add this too. So maybe that is going to show, my emotions a little bit here. And so that's the good part about this library. I can use anything which is, on the same color, which will perfectly go with the image as a same color theme. So maybe I'll add some elements here to make it more interesting. So that's kind of a basic collage that you can make. Now, if you want to make it more colorful, you can change your background and add color to it. Maybe if I want a black background here. So I go here and do it. And if I don't want it, maybe I want a yellow background. So I added another layer and do it. And we can check that which one is looking good, because it's your collage and you would like to see like what kind of expressions, emotions you want to express with it. We can also duplicate this layer, make a copy so that we don't lose this. And then maybe also we can do some kind of color experiments with this. So if I just do select and just click on this layer, you can see, there are kind of patches. And I feel like as a collage, this is also interesting. You might not need to, like color the whole thing, but you might not just need some kind of splashes of colors in some parts of your collage. So that you can also do. Maybe then I don't want this background. Maybe I can also use a black background. So that is what I had to share with you today. That it's a very simple. You can see I just spent maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to do this. Not even that. And you can try it with your photo and all the images that I have provided. And then if you can share this with us, that would be really good.